Hello students. Now we'll be looking on to the next topic. But before moving on to the next topic, let us see one theorem which is given in our book. The theorem states that let P be a prime number. Let P be any prime number. Then if P divides A square, then P also divides A. That is, suppose for example if we take, let me take one prime number, say 3. Fine. So we are taking 3. So 3, suppose 3 divides 9 square, that is 81. So you can say, okay, 3 divides 81 and 81 is nothing but 9 square. So 3 is dividing 9 square. So isn't it true that 3 also divides 9? Consider this 3 to be P and consider this 9 to be A. So 3, that is P, divides A square. So 3, that is once again P, will divide A. This is what the theorem states. This theorem's proof doesn't count. So what we need to focus on to is that we need to remember this particular theorem in order to prove our next topic. Fine. So please note the video. So based on this, we will be proving our next topic. That is, question is, prove root 2 is an irrational number. Okay. Now first of all, let us understand what is an irrational number. Irrational number is nothing but numbers which are not rational. Fine. Rational numbers, what are the properties of rational numbers? First property, that it should be represented in the form of P upon Q. Second, where P and Q both are integers. Third, that P and Q are co-prime. I am just writing down the criteria for rational number. Criteria for rationals. First criteria, that the form must be P upon Q. Second, P and Q both must belong to integers. Third one, P and Q must be co-prime. Fine. And obviously this Q should not be is equal to 0. So these are the criteria for rational numbers. Once again, I am just dictating them. That the form must be P upon Q. That is, the denominator must not be is equal to 0. Second property, that P and Q both must be an integer. Third property, P and Q must be co-prime. Co-prime means what? That P and Q do not have any common factor. Now if you look on to my first video, I discussed on this particular thing, that what does common factors means. That means any particular number will not be dividing P and Q simultaneously. Clear? So in order to clear this particular thing, if you are still having doubts, you may look on to my first video that will explain you what are co-prime numbers. So these are the properties for rationals. So based on these properties, I will be proving root 2 an irrational number. Now before I begin, just remember one thing, that we are having two particular methods to solve any particular question in mathematics. The first one is the normal approach. That means the question is given and you try to find out the answer. That's the normal approach. The second one is contradiction. Contradiction means what? You have to understand this thing. That contradiction means that in order to prove something correct, you do not try to prove it correct. Rather, try to prove it false. Why try to prove it false? Because one particular wrong case will make the whole theory go wrong. I am again repeating. That means if I need to prove root 2 is an irrational number, so if I go by contradiction, I will say that let me assume, I will start like this, that let me assume root 2 is a rational number. You will take just opposite to that. Suppose if I tell you to prove 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, so in contradiction you will go like that, let us assume that 2 plus 2 is not equal to 4. This should be the approach. Means whatever I tell you to find out, whatever I tell you to prove, you will take just the opposite of that. Considering the opposite of that as an assumption to start off the question. This is the first step for contradiction. Clear? So the first line that I am writing, that let us assume root 2 is a rational number. This is what a contradiction is. So when you are going for contradiction, always remember that your first line is an assumption. And what is the assumption? That whatever they are asking you to prove, you will consider just opposite of that. And what's the opposite of that? That if they are asking you to prove the things to be irrational, you will start by let me assume that the numbers are rational. First step is clear to each and every one of you, I think. Now, moving on to the next. Now, what we have taken is considering this to be a rational number. Now, what my target should be? My target should be to prove this particular statement wrong. Again, my target should be to prove this particular statement, your assumption, wrong. If your assumption is wrong, that will prove what? That root 2 is not a rational number. If you are saying that let us consider root 2 is a rational number, but in assumption you will take what? That, means while proving the question you will prove what? That root 2 is a rational number. This statement is wrong. If this statement is wrong, they will simply say root 2 is not a rational number. So if it is not a rational number, then automatically it will become what? An irrational number. Because irrational numbers are those numbers which are not rational. Clear? So my target, my approach is to what? To prove this particular statement wrong. Now when you are taking wrong instances, remember you need not prove it wrong multiple times. You need not prove it wrong 100 times, 1000 times. No. You just need to show one example where it is going wrong. That one example would be sufficient to prove the whole theory wrong. So here my target is to what? To prove that okay fine, root 2 is not a rational number. This is what I will try to do. So the approach should be like this. Let us assume root 2 is a rational number. So therefore, I am starting it like that. Root 2 should be in the form of P upon Q. Because if you are saying this is a rational number, then this must be represented in the form P upon Q. Clear? That implies what? Take Q to this side. Root 2 into Q is equal to P. Then squaring both sides, you will get root 2 square is 2, Q square is Q square, P square is P square. This is the statement that you got squaring both sides. Am I clear to you? Consider this statement to be equation 1. Consider this statement to be equation 1. Now, according to fundamental theorem of arithmetic, what I can say that therefore 2 is a factor of p square. That means 2 into something is equal to p square. That means 2 will be a factor of p square, q square will also be a factor of p square. Forget about it. I am just saying that 2 is a factor of p square. Am I clear or not? 2 is a factor of p square. Now, if 2 is a factor of p square, that implies 2 is also a factor of p. Why this statement? I just told you now the theorem that we were doing in the beginning, that if p divides a square, then p divides a. So if 2 divides p square, then 2 will definitely divide p. This is what we have written. This is clear? Absolutely clear? So 2 is also a factor of p. Let this statement be statement number 2. Clear? Now instead of root 2, if they give you root 3, that doesn't matter. You will take root 3 is a rational number. You will start like this. Then root 3 is equal to p upon q. We bring q to this side, left hand side. So root 3 into q is equal to p. Squaring both sides, 3q square equal to p square. So we will write down 3 is a factor of p square or 3 is a factor of p. Similarly, if they give you 5, you will take it as 5. If it is 7, you will take by 7. Accordingly, whatever number is given to you, this particular statement will be formed as per to that. Clear? Now, further. Now the next step, this step you need to remember that this is what you need to prove. Root 2 is an irrational number. So 2 is the number. So now the next step would be based upon this particular number which is given to you. Now I will start once like this, means once again like this, that let, you will forget about p now. Let p is equal to this number 2 and take any third variable. You have taken two variables p and q. Take any other third variable, say r. So let p is equal to 2r. Had it been 3, so you will write down p is equal to 3r. Had it been 7, you will write down p is equal to 7r. Had it been 11, you will write down p is equal to 11r, like that. Now p is equal to 2r. So what we will do? That you will replace this value of p in equation 1. So therefore, equation 1 becomes 2q square is equal to p square. P is 2r, so that is 4r square. Alright, I am writing it down one more step. That is 2r whole square. That is 2q square is equal to 4r square. 2 cancelling 4 2 times. So q square is equal to 2r square. Now you tell me, if q square is equal to 2r square, so can I say that 2 is once again a factor of q square? Isn't it? Hence, 2 is a factor of q square. And if 2 is a factor of q square, that implies 2 is also a factor of q. Make it equation number 3. So, from equation 2 and 3, what we get, that 2 is a factor of p and 2 is a factor of q. That is, if I combine these two statements, I will get 2 is a common factor for p and q. This is clear. Now you come to this statement that p and q must be co-prime. Had they been a rational number, had they been forming a rational number, then p and q must be co-prime. That is, they cannot have more than one common factors. And what is that common factor? 1. Apart from 1, they cannot have any other number as their factors, common factors. So this 2 is a common factor for both of them. So you will write down, therefore it contradicts the fact that P and Q are co-prime. Hence, our assumption was wrong, or root 2 is an irrational number. So that means what? If 2 becomes a common factor of P and Q, so this contradicts यानी गलत साबित करना. It contradicts the fact. What fact? That P and Q are co-prime. Isn't it? 2 cannot be a common factor because they are co-prime numbers. They cannot have any common factor. So this contradicts the fact. So that means what fact? That they are co-prime. So if they are not co-prime, that means our assumption is wrong. What assumption is wrong? That root 2 is a rational number. This assumption is wrong. So if root 2 is not a rational number, then this becomes what? Root 2 is a rational number. So again I am telling you, instead of root 2, had they been given you root 3, they will do the same thing with 3. Here 3 will become a common factor of P. Then you will take P is equal to 3R. You will put it over here. It will become Q square equal to 3R square. Again 3 becomes a factor of Q square and 3 becomes a factor of Q. Then again the common factor would be 3. This will contradict, hence the statement would be wrong. Clear? So we'll try the question with multiple numbers like root 2, root 5, root 7 like this. And always remember that any particular prime number inside a square root, any prime number inside a square root is always irrational number. You take any example of it, you yourself will get to know that any prime number inside the square bracket, the square root is an irrational number. Clear? So if you can simply say that the numbers which are left behind the square root, suppose any other number is there which is not prime, any composite number is given, say the number is 6. They will say sir 6 is not a prime number, but root 6 is an irrational number. Why? Because root 6 is nothing but root 2 into root 3 like this. So root 2 is what? An irrational number. Root 3 is what? An irrational number. And product of irrational is always irrational. So I will look on to this, I will explain this thing in the next video. So similarly, you just remember one thing. Any particular prime number which is there inside the root is an irrational number. Or any other number which is not able to get out of the root. We take the numbers out of the root if they form pairs. So if pairs are not there, if the number is left behind and it is confined inside that square root, that will always be an irrational number. So please pause the video to note it down.